Hello everyone, welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back to New England Graveyard. Jason back here in Danvers, Massachusetts. We are here at the site of the former Danvers State Hospital. Let's check it out. It was also known as the State Lunatic Hospital at Danvers, the Danvers Lunatic Asylum, the Danvers State Insane Asylum. Was a hospital located, was located in Danvers, Massachusetts. It was operating between 1878 until it closed in 1992. At that point, it underwent demolition in 2007 to become apartments, which it is now. Now, this design may look familiar to you. That's probably because this was used as the basis for Arkham Asylum in the Batman world in both comic books and video games. But this isn't entirely the reason why we're here. They have a cemetery here of all the forgotten patients that died while under treatment here, and we're gonna go visit them right now. So, the original plan was for the asylum to house 500 different patients with attic space, potentially housing 1,000 more. By the late 1930s and 40s, over 2,000 patients were being housed, and overcrowding was severe. People were even held in the basements of the building. While the asylum was established to provide residential treatment to care for the mentally ill, its functions expanded to include a training program for nurses in 1889 and a pathological research laboratory in 1895. By the 1920s, the hospital was operating school clinics to help determine mental deficiency in children. Reports were made that several inhumane shock therapies, lobotomies, drugs, and straitjackets were being used to keep the crowded hospital under control. But during the 1960s, as a result of an increased emphasis on alternate methods of treatment, institutionalization and community-based mental health care, it started to decrease. So this was a lot of not too happy stuff happened here. So the cemetery where all the patients went, as I discussed earlier, there are no signs pointing you here. There's just a path that you really need to know of where it goes. And as you can see, there's even more, looks like more construction is being planned here for more housing, apartments and all that. So it looks like that the cemetery is going to get forgotten even more, which is very sad, because these people, you know, they were human beings. They lived life. Oh, here we go. Here we are at the Danvers State Hospital Cemetery, and the echoes they left behind. It's really sad. I mean, you look through here, and these are all people, very few of them have headstones, actually. We're here at section 119. 116. You know, there's no signs leading here. Now over here, we've got a list of people. There was some research that was being done to try and find the names of everybody who is buried here. The ex-patients of the Danvers State Memorial Committee. Now these people, it's unknown where they are. Now this whole entire land that you see here before you, it's all the graveyard. It's really sad because these were people too. Sure, they had their mental issues. I mean, who doesn't? But most of them are only noted by that thing that happened that they did in 2002. You got your occasional marker, section marker. Look at all this. All these people who died and were forgotten by their family. They were just deposited out here so they could make room. Oh, well, this is good. Finally found some more markers. I mean, it would be impossible for me to show you all of them. But if you're ever in the Danvers, Massachusetts area and you got a hankering, oh, look at that, section 579. Got a hankering to visit Arkham Asylum if you happen to be a Batman fan. Definitely drive by. I'm just very glad that the committee was able to find Ella Frazier, 1926. Now this may not be a famous grave video, but it's definitely historical, and it's definitely probably the saddest one I've done. I mean, look, you gotta look all the way around. Barely any markers. Barely any acknowledgement that these people lived, that they existed. It's very, very sad. Now, one thing that they have here, they have a little setup that explains the history. So they don't completely forget the history of this building. But there's a full picture of it as to virtually what became in pop culture as Arkham Asylum. I'm not going to read over the whole thing, so but you may want to stop the video to give you a chance to read this. Here we got the plans for the hospital. And also in this sitting area, we got some more pictures of the institution. Student nurses, Dr. Bonner, who was the superintendent from 1927 and 1954. Now, the part that we are going to next is way down there. It's where the cemetery is, where all the forgotten patients were buried. People who had died from things like shock treatment and electrotherapy, as well as people who just died and whose family did not claim them. So it's a bit of a hike, but let's go. And I am home from Danvers State Hospital. Very sad state of affairs. I find that it's sad that the cemetery itself has no acknowledgement. There's nothing in there that says that these people are there. I thank that committee, that Danvers State Hospital committee from 2002 for finding out the names of the people who were there. So, first off, I want to thank Chris Whitt from Whitt Doc's Cemetery Tours. I'll put his link down in the description. For giving me the idea to do this. He did a similar video of a former asylum down in the Kentucky area that basically underwent the same way. Patients that died there were just buried and forgotten, and he wanted to make sure that they weren't, and that's basically the purpose of this video here. So thank you, Chris, for that idea. Please check him out with Doc Cemetery Tours. And I hope you did enjoy this video. It's not one of my more happy videos, I understand, but it's part of history. This is how people were treated back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. This is how people with mental health were treated, and it's important to acknowledge that so that those who acknowledge history will not repeat it. And I don't want to repeat this. Being somebody with some issues myself, I wouldn't want to go through what those poor people went through, nor would I want to be put in a potter's field. So, with all of that, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as you could. Hope you learned something a little bit. And please join me on the next video. I got more food reviews. I got more famous graves. I've got all sorts of things planned, and I hope that you join us. So please tap that little subscribe button. Please tap that little bell button. Or is it over here? I don't know. And please join me for more New England graveyard as well as my other vlogs. So until then, it's Jason, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye!